If you're a commission salon or spa owner working nonstop, barely paying yourself, and wondering how in the heck this became your life, you need a serious upgrade. Welcome to the station. Hey friends, welcome back to the station, the podcast for salon and spa owners who are ready to ditch survival mode and lead businesses that people never want to leave. I'm Bree, CEO of the Beauty Biz Agency, and as always, I've got my right-hand girl, Chandra, here with me today. Hey, girl.
Hello, hello.
You ready for today's episode?
Yeah, I'm super excited for today's episode. Can't wait.
Me too. I think this one is going to give our listeners just a lot of hope, so I'm super, super stoked. Today's episode is going to be real and it's going to be raw. It's going to be different though, which I think is really cool. We are sitting down with one of our incredible BBA members, a commission salon owner who has really been through it all. She's been burned by coaching that didn't deliver. She's completely lost her team before. She's had to ask herself the hard questions like, do I even want to keep doing this? In fact, she still asks her question that every day. But instead of giving up, she chose to rise. She rose to the occasion. She did the deep work. She faced that messy middle, and she made the decision to rebuild her business the right way, with systems, with leadership, and a vision that finally supports her instead of draining her. So if you are out there and you have ever felt like your business is running you into the ground, like you are doing everything right, but still not moving forward, then you are in the right place today, and this conversation is for you. When Lori joined us inside the Beauty Biz Agency, she was in full-blown survival mode. She had invested in coaching programs that, like so many out there, taught that all you need is more clients and your business is just going to magically grow. But she quickly found out that's not what actually helps you turn the corner or become the CEO of your business. No matter how many new clients she brought in, the problems kept circling back and circling back. Without structure, without leadership, without systems in place, everything kept falling on her shoulders. Her team was unmotivated. Nobody was truly bought in the way that they needed to be. And Lori, like so many of you out there, was burning herself out, just trying to be the top revenue earner and run the business behind the scenes. She was literally carrying all of the weight and wondering if she could even keep going. But instead of walking away, she found us at the Beauty Biz Agency and made the decision to rebuild. And now she has systems, she has boundaries, and she has a team that aligns with her culture. And most importantly, she is finally stepping into her role as the CEO with clarity, with confidence, and honestly with peace. Before I bring on our amazing guest, Chandra, for the owners out there listening who feel like they're stuck in that same survival loop that Lori was in, what do you want them to know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's normal to be in that place. I think it's normal to be stuck in that mode. It happens to many of us, almost all of us at some point. And I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I think, really understanding that you're not alone and knowing that a lot of us go through the same stuff and getting to hear, the success stories on the other end and that there's light at the end of the tunnel, I think is going to be transformative for anybody listening. And you don't have to be stuck there. So,
yeah, I think it's really, really important. And I also think it's important to say that even once you get these structures and these systems and all of these amazing things in place, you're still going to have those days, right? You're still going to have those days where you question yourself. So having a community of like-minded individuals and people that can support you is really, really important. All right, guys, I am so excited for you to meet the woman behind that story. Today on the podcast, we are welcoming Lori. She is the owner of a beautiful, thriving commission salon in Canyon City, Colorado. Lori has been such a powerful part of the BBA community. And honestly, I'm getting chills right now. Getting to watch her transformation has been nothing short of inspiring. She's done the hard work. She's still doing the hard work. She is rebuilding her leadership. She's come a long way. She has leaned into systems and strategy. And she's created a team and culture that actually support the kind of business and honestly, the kind of life that she wants to live. Lori, we are so proud of you. You've been through so freaking much. And the way that you've come out on the other side with strength, with vision, with heart, it is absolutely incredible. So welcome to the station. We are so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So I kind of want to start with like taking it back for a minute. Before things started to turn around for you, what was going on in your world, both personally and in the salon, when everything just started to feel super, super heavy for you?
So much stuff. I had recently had a manager leave my salon, and when she left, she took $30,000 worth of business with her. She took the one booth renter I had, and then a couple months later, took another stylist that I had. So basically took about half of my team and probably about half of my profitability, if I'm honest. Personally, at that time, I was going through a really difficult time in my marriage. I would say I didn't feel safe at home. I didn't feel safe in my business anymore. Everything just started coming to a head. And then I had a car drive through my salon, literally through the front door, and wipe out my whole lobby area. So some exciting renovation that we didn't know we were going to have to do. And then COVID. So I had all of that just in a very short period of time. I would say in 2.5 years, all of that happened.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
I'm sitting here trying not to let the tears fall while you're telling this story. So keep going.
There's so much burnout, personally, professionally. Worked ridiculous hours. I was working 6 days a week, sometimes 12 to 14 hours a day, just trying to keep the doors open, and also not good for my personal life because I was still trying to rebuild there as well. Definitely had those moments where I wanted to quit. And if I'm honest, sometimes still do.
Yeah. And I love that vulnerability that you share. I think that's so important because there's so many people out there that do feel this way. A lot of times, we see ourselves as business owners and as hairstylists and all of these things, but we don't see the personal side that everybody's going through as well. And it affects our businesses so freaking much. And I think that's something that we need to learn to acknowledge as women in this industry. I think it's really, really important. You said something earlier with the word burnout. So my question for you is, were you feeling more burnout as a stylist or as the owner trying to hold everything together?
If I'm being really honest, I think it was both. I was like, why am I doing this? My vision was to help women to have the career that they wanted, and it felt like I wanted it more than they did for them. But also, as the stylist, trying to keep the doors open, I was like, I don't know. I didn't have time to do more education. I really didn't have time to even take on any more clients. I was about 6 weeks booked out all the time. And when people would call and cancel, it was getting difficult because I had nowhere to put them, and was afraid, honestly, to recommend someone in my salon because I would end up getting them back. Because people weren't staying. My staff after COVID turned over 3 times. And so when I have that and I'm trying to keep those doors open, any client that I had, I needed them to be here in my chair. So it was really hard time.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, I know that I was kind of with you through a lot of it, and I know what you went through. Chandra, when an owner is this deep in burnout, what is the first step that we always, kind of want them to take from a coaching standpoint?
I mean, I think really taking a step back and sort of analyzing your whole situation, right? Like what's actually going on? What are the things that are actually causing all of this? Where can we start to rebuild, and where can we start to make those changes that are going to get you out of this feeling and out of this mess and stop feeling this way? And so, because there's a lot of factors, right? And especially in Lori's, situation, there was a lot of things going on, and a lot of us have a lot of things going on. And so I think it's really, kind of taking a step back, really deciding what it is that you wanted out of your business, and then starting to peel back those layers to see where should we start? What things can we start working on that are going to make those changes?
Yeah, I think that's really, really important. And I know you and I know, Chandra, because we go through this every single day. So many people frown when it comes to coaching or getting support or doing all of these things. And when you have nobody to talk to about those things, that's when your brain really starts going, right? Like you can really get in the gutter. You can get in that depressed state. Like it can take a toll on you mentally, physically, emotionally, in every way possible. So it's so important to have that community, that coaching that you can you can bond with and build with and strategize with and help yourself dig out of these things. The beautiful thing about that is most of the coaching people out there, the true salon owners, they've actually done it. They've been in that hole themselves. They dug themselves out or had somebody help them do it. And so they can lead you in a way that is completely different. And just having somebody there to hold your hand can drastically change your life and your business in so many ways. Lori, you've been really honest about investing in coaching programs that just didn't work. You and I have talked about this. And I know a lot of salon owners listening have been through the exact same thing. What made those experiences so frustrating for you?
I never felt like I got a full package. So with the first coaching program, it was a fairly new salon. I had gone to a weekend event, sat with a consultant, and they're like, you don't even have time to hire an assistant. You just need to go home and hire a second stylist. And so that kind of was where I started as far as my commissioned world went. I had worked in a booth rent salon before I went out on my own, and there were just a lot of things about it that I wasn't crazy about. And if I'm honest, probably the salon owner could have been in trouble for misclassification because she did want some control. So I knew when I left that I wanted to be able to control what was happening in my business. So started with this coaching program. They started me as having me build the same way as I was building my team. So I think if I had gone back and done that differently, I would have refrained from doing that. Because I didn't have any time to onboard people, to train people, to figure out systems to put into place. Systems were never really brought into any of that coaching. I was told I needed a handbook, but never given any idea of what I needed to do for that or what should be in it or any of that kind of thing. And then I had reports that I was filling out or things that I was tracking, but didn't understand why I was tracking them or what they meant or how things were going. So that was really frustrating to me. And then kind of during COVID, that coaching fell off, in which time I found another group, but they focused a lot on marketing, which I also needed, but still wasn't getting the back office things that I needed to do. Still no systems in place, all of those kind of things. Like I could get people into the salon. That's not a problem for me. I can get people in, I can bring them in. But figuring out how to keep that retention and how to make my staff feel confident in what they were doing, I felt like all of that was lacking. So it ended up finding you guys, and things changed. Things changed drastically.
Yeah, I think that's one of the misconceptions that we see quite frequently is that, a lot of coaching programs out there are like just new clients all the time, which is great. We all want new clients. But if you don't have systems and processes in place for your team, for yourself as the owner, and if you aren't able to keep the clients that you're bringing in that are new, at some point, those new clients are going to wear off and you're going to be in a really, really bad state. So do you feel like going through some of these coaching programs and them not working the way that you expected, that they affected your confidence maybe as a leader because the needle wasn't moving the way that you thought that it should have?
Absolutely. I didn't know where I was leading. I didn't know what I was doing. There was no regular contact between me and the coaches. The first group, definitely, if I saw her 3 times a year, and it was a $2,000 charge for her to step foot in my salon and $500 for a phone call. So I was very careful about how I spent, how I was trying to spend that money, because as going through all of these things, it's like I can't spend that, which they'll always tell you got to spend money to make money. And I get that, but you also have to be very careful about whether or not it's actually working for you. And so those, I didn't feel like I had all the support I needed, because I felt like there wasn't even I couldn't even feel like I could email and ask a question. And again, I had no idea what all of my metrics meant, what I was supposed to be doing, how I was supposed to be leading. We did some personal development meetings, and I would do debriefs, but I really had no idea how to lead my staff down that road to make them understand also what those meant, because I didn't understand them. So it was pretty frustrating as a leader too. And to know that I needed more and not know where to find it.
Right. Chandra, I am going to ask you this question because if I don't ask you, I'm going to go off on a rant, and we don't want any of that on here. So we see this with so many owners. It frustrates the crap out of me. Why do you think so many programs fail? Why do you think they fail them?
I mean, even just from my personal experience with programs, I think they fail because they want you to just continue to pay money forever. And they just want to dangle that carrot in front of you so that you feel like you're going to get something out of it. They scare you into leaving because you're like, well, if I leave, everything's going to fall apart. But they never actually teach you how to actually leave the program. And I think that's the biggest reason they fail. It's all about money. They just want money, and they want to keep you there as long as they can. And if you actually succeed, you're going to leave. And so they don't want you to do that. That's how I felt in some of the other programs that I was in. It is kind of that exact same way. So
definitely. I know when we were creating our program, that was one of our biggest things, right? Is that's not, we want people to succeed. We want commission salons to come back and be a popular thing in this industry because they are important. And if we can't teach the owners what they need to know in order to do that, then we're not doing something right. So it's really, really important. All right, Lori, I know that you lost most of your team. You told us that earlier. And I know from experience, that is one of the hardest things that an owner can go through. What did that season really feel like for you?
There was definitely grief. There was some resentment. You feel like you do so much for your team and then they just are like, yeah, I'm out. Bye. You have to start over. And it's very frustrating. And if I'm honest, all of those other things created trust issues for me. So then it created an issue where when I did bring in new people, it was really hard for me to trust what was happening and to trust the process of what was going on. So I kind of did a hang on kind of thing to all of I will do all the work because I don't want anybody else to do it. It just became like this vicious cycle of I don't trust you, so I have to do it because I don't trust you. And if I teach you this, you're going to leave. And it was just very frustrating, very hard. And there was a grief process. It feels like every time somebody leaves, you're grieving the process of like they've died, even though they haven't. Even though they leave and they're like, oh, we'll still be friends. No, they aren't. They don't contact you. You don't reach out to them. It's not like that. For those people that can do that, that's awesome. That has not been my experience.
I think it's going to be very few people that can do that. I think we all go through that grieving process and honestly have a little bit of resentment. Most salon owners out there, we are in the business of serving people and taking care of people. And so we truly, truly care about our employees more than probably what you would, at any other business. I say this all the time. I care about all of my employees in all the businesses that we have, but my salon is just, there's a little bit of a tighter bond there. It's something very, very different. Chandra, when owners come to us after losing people, what is usually the real problem that we kind of find underneath that scenario?
I think usually it ends up being a lot of the leadership and the systems behind how the business is running, and the culture is usually broken. And so that's usually one of the places we start working on when those things happen.
Yep, 100%. All right, I want to shift things just a little bit right here because something in you changed throughout this process, Lori, and we saw it like very, very clearly. What was different, or what is different about how you started showing up as a leader this time around working with the Beauty Biz agency?
I think that I was in an emotionally better place during this whole process. I was doing some inner work and some things to heal me, Lori, for all of that things. I'd been working hard on my marriage, working hard on me, working hard on the salon. And I think I started to feel safe again. I feel like I had mentors that really, truly did care about what was happening with me and not just about how much money I was paying them. I just started to work on the things that you guys told me to work on. Started with the handbook so that when there was questions, I could refer back to the handbook. Like, you signed this, we read this, we onboarded with this. This is where we are. So that has eliminated a lot of what I like to call freestyle thinking in my salon, because they all come in and think they can do whatever. And so now we don't. We have this. And I started working on just setting rules and boundaries. And I obviously could go back and reflect and say, this happened in my salon and I didn't like this. So how am I going to keep that from happening again? What am I going to put in place so that I don't deal with that? How am I going to make sure that these things are adhered to? And just by creating my operating procedures and job descriptions, it really took a lot of the questions out of the works, because I wanted it done my way, my vision of my business and how I wanted to treat our guests and what I had for me in my future. I mean, I can't reach my goals for myself if I'm not helping the people inside my business reach their goals. It's works both ways. I wasn't doing very good training. We've been working on that a lot. I still don't have my training program all completely done, but it's a heck of a lot better than it was. For instance, we started a new way that we do our toning services. So that required a new standard operating procedure. And we walked through this and we've all done it using the products that we've brought in and that kind of thing. And I've definitely had to relearn some things. I've always been pretty close to people that I've worked with. I've realized that there's a reason that they say that things are lonely at the top. You can't be friends with the people that you work with. It doesn't work. But obviously it doesn't work. I love my staff. I love getting to know them. But those girls go out and do things, and I'm not a part of that, and I'm okay with that. I don't have that need to be a part of that anymore. That's not where my intentions lie, and I know that it impedes my leadership if we're too personal, because then it just doesn't work. So that certain amount of distance, I learned that I have to maintain that, and it's better for my mental health as well if I'm not personally involved that way. And that's something I've learned. I have to protect that.
100%. It's so important. Yeah, you have to, people don't realize that when you are restructuring your business, rebuilding your business, you're putting in new policies, new procedures, new systems, new operations, new everything. You have to learn to lead in a whole different way again. And it's tough. It's not easy in any way, shape, or form. I want to talk about the team that you have today for just a second, because it's a complete 180, in my opinion. What makes this group feel so much more aligned than the groups that you've had in the past?
Well, first of all, the one person that has stayed with me through the whole thing, she'll be with me 5 years in August. She has just been a solid. And Bailey is amazing. Anything that I ask her to do, she will do it. She has grown so much. And I think that for her, I recognized that when we lost the person who had been with me since the very beginnings, when that person left, Bailey blossomed. And so that really was an awakening for me to realize that person, even though I hadn't realized it until right before she left, had been an extremely toxic part of my business from the whole time. It was just very subtle toxicity, right? So, when I went into hiring, I went in very intentional about what exactly it was that I wanted them to be there for. So specifically an esthetician, specifically a cosmetologist that did nails and wanted to focus on nails as her career, but also would do hair. So I was very intentional about who I brought in, and also most of them brand new out of school, which I had always been nervous about in the past. But honestly, it's been easier to train them because they don't have that knowledge from somewhere else, only from school. And they all get along really well, which is amazing. So personality-wise, I think I was looking for something a little bit different. While I want people to be outgoing and friendly, there was just something about each one of the girls that was like I knew they could work together and that we could be okay. I was slower in my process to figure out when I wanted them to start and how I wanted them to start. And we brought them on 2 at a time and got them trained. So just the culture of our salon is different. They get along so well. Like, we have a big front window in our salon. I have not decorated that window since they started. That they take personal pride in that. They get together as a group and they put that together. If we need some decorations, we'll get them and they'll do whatever. But they have taken over that, and that is one of those things that I'm happy to delegate that piece, because I hate that window sometimes. Because it needs to be decorated, but it's like I'm out of ideas. And so they brought a real freshness, I think, to the salon, and a whole different vibe of how pleasant they are with people. And my personal clients all the time say, wow, what a difference in here. Wow, it feels so light. It feels so peaceful. There's no heavy in here. And that has just been wonderful. With this particular group, we brought in one person and she didn't last long because she just couldn't fit that vibe. And she tried to stir up a lot of trouble between all the other girls. And she ended up quitting because they would come and I would say, do I need to handle it? Or is this something you can work out together? Sometimes they could, but in the end, it wasn't a right fit and she ended up leaving. And that was okay. That was the first time probably somebody's left that I was like, it's okay. It's good for you to go.
I love that. I love that. Chandra, one of the things that I noticed Lori kind of saying throughout this question was that, she held on to somebody who had been with her for a very, very long time, even knowing that she probably should have gotten rid of her. We find this constantly, all the time. We think that because people have been with us for so long, we owe them some type of loyalty or something of that nature. Kind of explain why that isn't always the best step for us to take as owners.
Because a lot of times those people are the ones that are imploding all your growth that you don't even realize. And I think we get stuck with them because we're afraid to let them go. They might be a top producer, that we might think that they really are still friendly with the other team. And if we let them go, everybody's going to fall apart. Like, I think there's a lot of reasons that we hang on to those people. But 9 times out of 10, and I mean, for myself personally, and with pretty much everybody that we've coached, they've all got one of those people in their business. And when they go, everything changes, everything shifts. And so it's a hard decision to make sometimes, especially if they are a top producer. But if you want your business to grow, they got to go. And you got to be okay with that. And I think that's one of the hardest lessons that a lot of the owners learn, especially when we start working with them and they start changing their culture.
Yeah. And I think it's really, really important to understand loyalty goes both ways. If we are going to be loyal as business owners, they have to be loyal as employees, meaning as we are creating new systems, new operations, new structure, new commission structures, whatever it is, they have to be aligned with that and be okay. If somebody has been with you a really, really long time, they should be leading that charge of saying, I'm excited for this new vision. You know what I mean? There are so many things. Unfortunately, Chandra's right. Most of the time, the bad eggs are the ones that have been around a really, really long time. All right, Lori, we have watched you step into this whole new version of yourself, like not just as a business owner, but honestly, as a woman, as a person. What are you most proud of when you look at the leader that you are today?
Oh,
no tears.
I know. I think probably I'm the most proud of the healing journey that I've been on, because that required me to really delve into some things, even from past, that I didn't want to have to deal with. And I'm proud that I never gave up. I took on the accountability for where my professional life was, for where my personal life was, and I couldn't, I just said, but there can't be a blame game. I can't deflect things onto other people. I just have to own what I can own and move forward from there. So I think that's the thing I'm the most proud of.
I love that. Chandra, what is one of the things that you are most proud of after coaching Lori for this amount of time and seeing the transformation that she's made?
Oh, I mean, I think I agree with you, Lori. I think I'm most proud of your perseverance and moving through all of that stuff. Because, I mean, we've been through a lot of this stuff with you. And, I mean, it would break a lot of people. And I think that you have come through it very gracefully on the other end. And so I really am proud of that perseverance that you've had and how you've been able to grow so much through all of this process.
I think the same thing. I think the perseverance for me, but something else that I've noticed, and I don't know if you've noticed this, Chandra, is I feel like Lori, with the perseverance, has become stronger, but I also feel like her vision is widening. I feel like she is beginning to see that it's not just a tunnel of ownership. There are so many other things that she can accomplish, not only in her professional life, but in her personal life as well. And to me, that is just phenomenal. Like, that is one of the most beautiful things that you could ever see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about your journey with the Beauty Biz agency just a little bit and the community there. Okay. What has being a part of the Beauty Biz agency coaching program done for you, really both in your business and your personal growth? I know we've mentioned a few things, but just wrap it up in a couple of sentences for me.
It is really incredible to have a community of people that you can go to. So as an owner, sometimes I would talk to my top person about all the things that were frustrating to me, just to have someone to vent to. Probably not my smartest move ever. And so I can save those things and talk it through in a group of people who are going through the same things that I am. It's a safe community. I've never felt like anybody in the community was like hating on me or rolling their eyes at me and thinking this was stupid. What I found is most of them are going through the same thing that I've gone through, or worse, or at the same time. I've made some incredible friends. We've done some things that have been fun, and it's nice because if you need something, you can reach out, and this group particularly is very happy to share. It's like there's no gatekeeping in this community. It's like if my friend out in Cape May needs a SOP for something, I'll send it to her and she can make it hers. I don't care. I'll share it with her because it only helps to elevate everyone when you can share the information that you have.
Yeah, definitely. What do you feel like you got here that you didn't find when you were in some of the other programs aside from the community?
Well, first of all, sometimes I get the pull yourself up by the bootstraps, young lady, quit being a whiner. So some real accountability and some call out. Sometimes we need to be called out. And this is a place where that has happened for me. But also you guys make sure, like, where are we in this process? Have you completed this? Have you completed that? And so I know where I need to be and what still needs to happen for my systems. And then I understand how all of those KPIs work, how I figure that for my staff, how I individualize that. It's not just one thing for everybody across the board. It has to be for each person individually and what they're capable of at this moment in time. And those might change. Those change as we grow and as our salon grows and as things in the business change. So just knowing that I know how to do that and I don't have to worry about it down the line, knowing how to figure out my pricing, that's not a mystery to me anymore. Just all of those things that finally are coming together for me, which were all the things I knew I was missing.
Yeah. One of the things that Chandra and I really pride ourselves on is helping you all when it comes to the financial side of your business. We feel like this is a very missed target in this industry. And so we know that it's something that is so, so very important. So your financial stability may not be exactly where you want it yet, but how has that changed on your path with us?
First of all, figuring out budgeting. It was there, but it was never a tool I really understood in the other community. And now I do understand that, and actually tracking every single cent that I spend and feeling accountable for that, because it makes me think about, do I really need this right now? Or is this something that can wait down the road? And honestly, during all that crazy time, I became uncompliant with a bunch of things that I should have been compliant with. And so doing all of this has made me figure out I'm either going to have to shut the doors or I'm going to have to do all of these things that need to get me in line. And it's not been a comfortable place. And I think because, and for me anyway, because of the trust issues that I have, to open up your financial world to somebody that you may not know or may not fully trust, that's a very difficult thing to do. Very difficult. So the fact that I've been able to do that, and nobody really, I mean, you guys will be like, do you really need that? No, you don't. But it's your money. You do you. But just remember, you have all these things that you're trying to take care of. Sometimes that's a good reminder, because I think as a salon owner, you want to have the best of everything and give everybody everything. And it's like sometimes we have to wait and get those things. That's that delayed gratification.
Absolutely. And, we know because we're on this journey with you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, even when it comes to the financial struggles that most salon owners are actually going through. So that's something good too, because when you're in the thick of it, sometimes it's easier just to bury your head in the sand even more and just pretend like it doesn't exist. But we've been able to kind of get it all out and come up with a plan and check in on you and make sure that we're working towards that light so that we can get there one day. So
Most
really
definitely.
proud of you for that. Why do you believe coaching is something that every commissioned salon or spa owner should have?
I just feel like you need somebody that can listen to you, that can help you when those hard questions come along. Because when the girls struggle at work, I can answer some of those questions based on what we want to do. But when I come across those struggles, there's who am I going to talk to about that? I need somebody who's been there and who's got my best interests at heart, that I can be real with. Sometimes those questions are hard. And sometimes I know the answers are going to be hard, but I just need somebody to walk me through that. I think everybody needs coaching.
I agree with that. I am a firm believer that even when things are going well, having coaching and having a community is one of the best things that you can have. Because I was a lot like you, and Chandra and I have talked about this a lot. I would come home and vent to, well, in the beginning, I would vent to some of my employees, and then it was my husband, and then it caused issues there. And it's so nice to have something completely separate that is going through the same things, understands, been where you are, and can guide you and help you in the way that you need it. So I agree with that completely.
Well, and it's also nice to have a community to celebrate with. Like my girls will celebrate it, but they don't know all the struggles behind the scenes. We're fairly transparent, but they don't know everything. And so when people who know exactly what you've been going through can celebrate with you, that's important as well.
Yep. I agree with that. Chandra and I, we go through tears together and celebrations together all the time. So completely understand that. If there's a salon owner or a spa owner out there that's listening right now who is maybe in the exact spot that you were in, they're burned out, they're unsure, they're feeling like maybe it's too late, maybe they should just close their doors, whatever. What do you want him or her to know?
You're not alone. There is somebody out there to help you find your tribe, find your right coaching, find the community that gives you what you need, and then what you're looking for. It's never too late. It's only, if you want to close your doors, that's your decision, but it's never too late to make changes. It'll be hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard sometimes, but it can be done. And also, for those that are struggling, I'm praying for you.
I love that. I love that. All right, girl. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I know we had some tears, but we had some smiles too. Thanks for sharing your story, your heart, right? And for showing so many other owners out there what's possible when you decide to rebuild the right way. We are so very proud of you.
Thanks.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. Whew, Chandra, that was a little bit emotional, but such an amazing story, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think stories like Lori's, they just remind us what's possible when you don't give up on yourself and when you finally get the support that you actually need. It's just amazing how life can change for the better when those things happen.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, let's move into a quick listener question. This one actually came in during one of our Facebook Live Q&A sessions that we didn't get to. So if you're out there listening and you've got a question that you would love answered live, make sure that you join us on the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube, whichever you prefer. We answer all of our questions live right then and there, and you can jump in and interact with us in real time. So, Chandra, this one came in from Omaha, Nebraska. How do you deal with mom guilt as a business owner, and how do you actually create freedom to be with your family when you are building a business? I love this question. because it's real, it's honest, and it's something that so many people out there feel, right? The truth is, mom guilt, I don't think that it ever fully disappears, but it does shrink a little bit when you lead your business with structure instead of chaos. When your salon is built on systems, clear boundaries, and a team that truly shows up with you, you are going to gain your freedom back piece by piece, step by step. And that's how you begin to protect your evenings, your weekends, your presence, so that you can be the mom and the CEO without feeling like you are absolutely failing both. It's exactly what Lori's doing. She stopped trying to be everything for everyone and started leading her business in a way that finally supports her life outside of it too. It's exactly what Chandra and I have both done as well. It's so important because it's one of the reasons that you became a business owner, to have time, to have money, and to have freedom. Chandra, you're a mom just like I am. What is your quick advice for the owners feeling pulled in every single direction and that guilt is just starting to pile up?
Yeah, I mean, I've been there plenty of times. I end up there every now and then still today. But I think the biggest thing is kind of what you said, though. When you start to structure your business and those systems are there and your business is kind of running smoothly, then you can step away to spend more time with your kids. Or even if the time that you have isn't necessarily more, you're not thinking about all those things and not being present with your kids. Like that's something I was guilty of a lot, is even if I did have time to spend with my kids, my brain was still not fully there. I was still thinking about all these other fires I have to put out. And so once getting that structure in place, it allowed that part of your brain to shut off. Like you could actually be fully present with your family and you could actually have that quality time instead of kind of that half in, half out time, because you're already like, I got to do this with the kids so that I'm here, but now I got to go deal with this. So it definitely, having that structure and putting all that in place, I think is what saved me 100%.
Yeah. And I think the honesty that we both said today, it doesn't go away completely. I don't think that it ever does, right? You're either feeling mom guilt or you're feeling CEO guilt, one or the other. But it does get better, and it can get better. Before we close out, I just really want everybody to hear this. Nobody opens a salon or a spa hoping that they are going to feel buried in it and hoping that they're going to be broke. Like that's just not what it is. You start this because you want freedom, you want impact, you want a life that's actually worth living, not just surviving behind the chair or behind your desk or wherever it is. And I think Lori's story, along with a ton of our other BBA members, proves that it's not just about fixing your numbers. It's not just about hiring better. It's about having real support. People who can see your blind spots, help you rebuild when things fall apart, and walk with you while you lead something bigger than you can carry alone. I'll say this because I've lived it. Even when my salon was hitting the biggest numbers that we had ever seen, and I was no longer behind the chair at all, I still had a circle of support around me. It's that important. I still leaned on my coaches, my community, my people. And Chandra did as well, didn't you, Chandra?
1,000,000%. Yep.
Because real leadership, it's never going to happen in isolation. It happens when you are connecting with like-minded individuals. So if you're out there and you're ready to build a business that actually supports your life and not just everyone else's, we're here for you. We've got you. Head over to www.thebeautybizagency.com, check out our coaching options, grab some of our free resources. But whatever you do, don't keep doing this alone. All right, girl, final word. What do you say to the owner listening right now who knows they need support, but they just keep putting it off? And it's usually for one reason. They don't want to spend the money.
Well, I think you need to just stop worrying about it. You need to stop being afraid to put it off. And, it doesn't necessarily have to cost you tons and tons of money. Like it's how much you put into it is what you get back out of it. Right. And so I think, stop being afraid, at least get the information, at least find out what your options are. And then you can start planning for that, or you can start moving in that direction. But if you let that hold you back, it's going to hold you back forever.
Yeah, you're just going to bury yourself more and more and more and more and more and look up one day and it's going to be really, really hard to get out of it. I mean, Lori said it best earlier. You have to spend money to make money. You absolutely do. But with the right type of support, They are going to ensure that you are financially stable in your business, or at least help you get to that point, so that coaching doesn't feel like an expense, right? It feels like it's just part of the business that you are creating. All right, guys, if you like this episode, please tap that like button, drop us a quick review, and share it with another salon or spa owner who needs this reminder that they're not meant to carry everything alone. That's how we are going to shift this industry, one strong owner, one aligned team, and one comeback at a time. Chandra, tell everybody how they stay connected with us and keep up with everything happening inside the Beauty Biz Agency.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on social media at the Beauty Biz Agency on Instagram and Facebook. You can also find us on TikTok at the Beauty Biz Mentors. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to have us answer a question on the air, just shoot us a message and let us know what you would like to talk about. And then don't forget to tune into that Facebook Live the first Monday of every month at 7 p.m. Central Time. We would love to see you there too. So definitely stay connected.
Absolutely. All right. You've been listening to The Station. Until next time, remember, your business should build your life, not bury it. So keep growing, keep leading with purpose, and keep your circle strong, because you deserve a business that works for you, not the other way around. Now go out there, make bank, run the show, and ditch that chair. And as always, keep slaying those business goals with a whole lot of swagger.